So, last night I watched Tension at Table Rock from 1956, and as always, if you enjoy this review, hit the follow button. This little hidden gem of a western has been on my watch list an awfully long time. After killing a man who was considered his friend, our main character Wes Tancred is immortalised in an uncomplimentary song about that killing. Tancred flees to a new town but can't escape the song, despite going under a pseudonym. It's not long before trouble arises again in the new town. In fact, there are three very notable parts to Tancred's story here. They really cram it in over the short 93-minute runtime. Directed by Charles Marquis Warren, whose most notable film was probably Charo starring Elvis, we're treated to a pretty strong cast in this one. Apparently Sterling Hayden was originally signed on for 6 weeks to make this, but that never came to anything. Instead, we get Richard Egan as our star, who I loved in this role. He ticks all the boxes a 50s western star should tick, and he plays the morally upright Tancred perfectly. Like the description on the poster suggests, this is a bit of a hybrid between Shane and High Noon, although there are far more similarities with Shane. Billy Chaplin, who appeared in The Night of the Hunt of the year prior to this, plays a remarkably unannoying child role. He's great. Dorothy Malone appears as the sheriff of Table Rock's wife, and the sheriff himself is played by Cameron Mitchell, who despite his importance gives a fairly low-key performance. One of my personal favourites, John Denner, plays a cattleman, and we even get a very brief cameo at the start from a young Angie Dickinson in one of her very first credited roles. Despite its clear limitations due to the Hays Code, this is a fun and sometimes deeply tense western. It has a little bit of everything, with a romantic subplot, a revenge arc, and a duel in the main street of Table Rock. Egan is great. After watching, I immediately searched for more westerns where he played the lead, and I was surprised to see there were barely any. It really shocks me a major studio didn't give him another starring vehicle after this. The story unfolds at breakneck pace in this film. There are so many moving parts it could easily get messy, but writer Winston Miller keeps things in check, and director Warren does a brilliant job of translating her words to pictures in a fairly no-frills style. There is not a single wasted shot in this movie, and the whole thing culminates in a satisfying enough ending despite its predictability. I'd thoroughly recommend this, but for the price and quality of the copies available, I'd steer clear until somebody upscales it or a streaming service starts supporting it. I'm going to give this movie a 3.5 star.